Hello again. This is Dale from Garage Gecko University. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that is tools or toys. I think it's all in the same category for us guys. But who doesn't like tools? They're great. Most of us have too many, or we'll never have enough. Either you decide. But we're going to go through the tools that I use, and I'll show you why I use what I do. It's probably very familiar territory for you, but you might see something that, hey, that's a great idea. I want to start out with tool safety. The most important tool you've got is up here, and I urge you guys to protect it. If you're drilling or you're hammering, safety glasses, wear them. You've only got two eyes, and protect them. Ears, a lot of times we are up, especially when we're hammering or drilling or whatever the case is into a header. The tool's right here. It's this far from your ear, and most of the 18-volt tools we use are quite loud, and cumulative damage over time adds up. Put these on. They're lightweight. When you're my age, you'll be glad you did. You want to hear the tender voices of your grandchildren at a later age. Trust me. Gloves. You're handling track. I really encourage you to wear gloves. Most of the injuries I've seen some pretty ugly stuff, happens when installing doors, especially handling track. Most of it is to the back of the hand that I've seen that's the worst, believe it or not. And where that comes from is up here on this horizontal angle piece. A lot of times it's not deburred. And just a bump from your hand and it's all over. So you're handling track, starting the install, wear gloves. I don't wear them for warmth. It's really for protection. So anyways, my favorite tool, organizer, if you will, is this bucket. I just replaced this one. I had one since I was 16, made in America, lasted till last birthday. My wife got me this one. It's wonderful. A lot of guys use pack outs and other things. They're very bulky. They have merit. They have their place. Whatever you're comfortable with. But I like to just grab and go. This is multi-purpose. So I'll show you the tools I use in it and the reason I use it. It's at the ready. So I'll just go around the perimeter real quick. I've got a very small jeweler's watch. Sometimes, or screwdriver, I apologize. Sometimes the screws are quite small and some of the remotes. Quick bit for my regular on my drill. Around, I have some ballpoint pens. Usually I have a bunch of Sharpies in here as well. This guy here, how often do you install an opener where you're diagnosing later to find out it's actually the outlet is bad, or the GFI has been tripped, or whatever the case is. These are real cheap, $6, $7, $8. If you don't have one, get one. It proves you're professional. You can diagnose the symptom correctly and quickly. They're great. So I keep that at the ready right here. Some T25s, and spade bit is great for a counter bore. A lot of times I'm using a counter bore and go through a header plate or whatever to sew it in. I need it to be flush because I'm going over it. These are great. And then an extra saber saw blade as well. Razor knives at the ready right here. Inside I keep 3 regulars. Virtually all my tools are mismatched from brand. That way I can look and grab quickly. I don't have to determine if it's a number 1, 2, or 3 regular or Phillips. I can look at the brand and know what I'm grabbing. For instance, I got a Stanley, different off-brand Stanley, and a Harbor Freight. So I know which one I want. I can look at it quickly by the color. So I believe in using dissimilar brands for what I do for that reason. And then I've got a double acting file. We've all been to that rodeo trying to slide a bearing or a cone off over the shaft where it's got a ridge. So I use the double acting. It takes care of it in quick time. A little torpedo spirit level, if you will. Always handy to have, especially when you're helping out with installs. Chisel. Pliers, slip jaw. We always use those. I use mine mostly for track. twisting them, getting rollers in and out, but a thousand uses. Another pair of all-purpose pliers. Then I come around to my other pair of just regular electrical dikes, wire strippers. And a lot of guys carry cable cutters, especially installers. When the door's up, they can cut the cable and drop it. Those tend to be pretty handy for some guys. And the other pliers I keep here, there's 3 of those. Slip joint. This is a nice pair of Knipex I like. And then, of course, the old vice grips. And I carry 2 of these. If one breaks, I got a backup. It's hard to reset torsion without one of these guys. Have a spare. And right in the middle, I can toss in my hammer and my pry bar. This one's pretty flat. And I like that because I can roll the door down and the roller comes out really easy with this. I like a very shallow ramp. And it's easier to set one side of the door level as well. So I get more support. Anyway, that's my favorite. And then I keep my pair of short bars in here if I do need them, which very seldom. And then my regular residential winding bars as well. Another reason I like the bucket is if I'm going in, I can grab a lot at once. I've talked with the customer. I know the products I need or that I'm probably going to need. So it's a one-trip deal. This is my shopping cart. I can toss my cables in there, set of drums, whatever I need, I can load it up, take the handle, and off I go. And the same thing when I'm coming back out. I got the old parts. I got a drum, whatever else is in there. I can just take them, come back out, unload the old parts into my truck. So it saves me a lot of time. It's organized. I can look and see and grab. Reason I prefer it over the pack out. Hello again. Back to tools part 2. This is a Werner Blue bucket, we just call it. It's wonderful. It's the next best thing since sliced bread. I modified mine. Hopefully it helps you. I'll show you how I did mine. Saved me so much time, up and down the ladders especially. It's just great. I'm always looking for ways to improve. So if you had any ideas, please let us know. So anyways, when I walk in, I got my bucket along with my 5-gallon bucket. I keep my lube right there. It's always with me. And again, I can throw other items in here as I need, especially, except for, of course, springs and such like that. So one nice thing about this is if I'm working on springs or header plate or whatever it is, I just set this guy up here and, of course, walk up and I can access stuff as I need it. And I'll demonstrate down here how I use it. But another nice thing is I keep my wrenches in a certain order. So if I have to come down, I'm over here working on something else, I can reach in and I can, if I need a 7/16, I just grab it like this. Very simple, very easy. I know where everything is. It's always in the same place. So another reason I like this is if I'm going to do safety eyes, I can put my eyes in here. Everything else, I just come over here next to the eyes and I can work on it. I've got everything in here, all the different accessories I need for both my drill and my impact. So we'll pretend I'm up on top. So I'll let Stephen zoom in here. So just a simple piece of punch. I've got all the different rapid exchange. I'm not sure what the correct word is for all the different ones. I've got a 1/4 inch to 3/8 adapter on each size. So I got 3/8, 7/16, 1/2, and 9/16. My wrenches, I've got combination wrenches here. And then on the other side, I've got ratcheting. And I've got some sizes that I use very infrequently. And here I've got my T25, a Phillips, longer T25, a longer Phillips. Little guy, I always pre-drill when I'm doing a keypad outside or the wall station inside if I'm going into wood. A couple bits for pre-drilling. If I'm at a wire block in the rear of an opener, that's my little probe. Step bit, a smaller spade bit, and normally I would have a carbide bit for putting in smash anchors or drilling into concrete. Then over here, my quick grab and go. This guy gets used and abused. 7/16 with the long reach. This is great for the center plate on the center bearing. And then I've got 2 extra ones as well. So when I'm up top, I don't like, first of all, let me back up. I don't wear belts. A lot of guys do belts. They wear the harness. They're tiring for me. I prefer this. The belt, I hook it on stuff on the clutch. It exacerbates that condition. So this for me works better. So there's no right way. It's whatever's right for you, of course. So if I'm up top and I'm grabbing stuff and I'm working on something that's got 3 different size fasteners, like a genie, for instance, I'm just going to grab, and I'm standing on it, I'm just going to grab this guy here and I'm working it. I take it off. I grab the next one. It's just grab and go. And the same thing. There's a hole right there. I've got my drill like this. Take it out. I got a pre-drill. I pre-drill it. I've got this guy in my bucket right here, ready to go. 3-inch lag. I'll just set him like this. When I'm standing on my bucket, this is in here. So I'm holding that up. I'm pre-drilling, setting that back in the hole, getting that out of my bucket. So it's very handy for staging tools, keeping extra supplies. But the biggest thing is I'm just reaching in and grabbing, and going like this, and I've got to grab the wrench, and you get the idea. So anyways, that's one of my big time savers. And that's it. It's pretty self-explanatory. All right, continuing on with tools. I've got a 3-drawer organizer in the cab you may have seen in a previous video. So I pulled the bottom drawer out, brought it around for you guys to see. We'll start with, this is usually hanging up on one of the coat hooks there, but I brought it in here. I keep my delicate stuff in here. I don't like them getting banged around, so I've got a headlamp, and I've got a laser level for measuring the distance. Pretty cool, pretty handy, lots of fun, but I like to protect them. And then in here, I'm really fond of this particular one, stud finder. I've had best luck with this design, but again, if I'm going to need it, I just put it in my round bucket you saw earlier. I just chuck it in there, and in we go. I don't need it very often. And then the tools, I prefer Milwaukee. I don't endorse them or not endorse them. I've used other ones as well. These have been good luck for me. So, Sawzall, hacksaw, I guess officially. I've had the great big, two-handed type, pretty bulky. These are great. Got to cut a torsion tube or whatever, you can grab it and just, rotate it and cut it, and they're just very nimble. I love it. Universal tool, and I carry an assortment of bits. I don't need it often, but when I do, it gives me nice, clean, professional results quickly. Instead of using a razor knife, especially in sheetrock, we've all been to that. You've got to expand the area for the flag or a jam bracket. This makes super quick work out of it. It is neat and clean. So don't need it often, but it's great for what it does. Right angle grinder. I prefer this when it comes to cutting metal. Half the other world prefers the hacksaw, whichever. But anyways, I find this just to be more handy for me. So I keep it in here. Again, I don't need it real often. I keep it on my pre-punch cut to predetermined lengths. So I'm cutting some, but not that often. So it's just right there if I do need it. And then a lot of extra discs for cutting wheels, and then my wrench for the right angle grinder. And I keep 5 extra batteries. These are for my drill. I use the little 2.0s and then the 4.0s or 5.0 on the impact and the drill. Again, I travel light. It's organized neat. I can look, reach, and grab. I don't have to open up the pack out lid and all that other stuff. This is, for me, quick, efficient, and accountable. So hope that helps, and we'll pull out the next drawer and continue in a sec. Here's the next drawer in my 3-drawer organizer. The top one is just electronics. So this one's tools that I don't use very often. I don't need to pack them in and out, obviously. I might use them once a week, maybe once a month. But when I need them, I need them. So they're in here organized. I've got a laser level. This is just an extra overflow. That's a circuit board. Two Stanley Boss Stitch cable tackers that shoot the T25s. I own 2 of them because if one breaks, I got a backup. I love them that much. They are wonderful. Extra box of T25 staples, and then a package of spade bits. My old Franklin Central has been with me a dozen years. It's hard to let go, so he stays with me. This one is for Allen wrenches. I've got SAE and metric. I've got an extra giant step bit. There's a few vault releases that require a very large hole. So I use it every 3 or 4 months, but when you need it, it's here. I keep extra bits for my drill. I keep 16th, 8th, and 3/16. I always pre-drill, period. Over here, if I get into bigger stuff, I've got a larger set of drill bits at the ready if I need them. Sometimes you got to pull nails or whatever. Highly recommend having one of these, especially if you're pulling a nail out of bucking or something like that and it's in the way. There are some cases where you need to do that. This will pull it out as neat as anything else. They're wonderful. Extra construction pencil. Electronic sniffer. If you don't have one of these, not mandatory, but it does help you find interference. And I keep an extra pry bar, general purpose. Sometimes you need 2. This one's pretty steep. I don't care for it as much, but it's just an extra that I use on occasion. And this one, Gorilla Tape, a small speed square. Do light framing. I need to cut a right angle. Vinyl snips. Welding clamps. So I showed you the other type I had with the fingers. This one is more just a big C clamp. I'm on the fence which one's better, whatever works best for you. But I do too. Sometimes you're working on a very large door and you need all the holding power you can get. So that's the reason I carry 2. I don't pack it into the garage every time. If I need an extra one once a month or whatever it is, I can come out here and grab it. And the same thing with needle nose pliers. I carry a large pair. Sometimes I need to have extra weight on the cable. If I'm up goofing around with the torsion or whatever, I want the cable to pop off the other side of the drum. This is great. Clamp it on. They're fairly heavy. That's about all I use it for, and maybe a few other specialized tasks. But wonderful tool. So I'll put all those back in there. And that is pretty much most of my tools, short of a couple levels. I carry a 2-foot and a 4-foot. A large Milwaukee light to light up, illuminate a garage that is poorly lit. And that's about it, guys. Anything else you need would be at the shop. I'm not going to go into other stuff. We do carry circular saws here, sawhorses, air tools, air hammer, air nailer, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is the everyday stuff I carry with me, and hope that helps.